Hi everyone, I'm Tony Jackson. Here is your weekly reading for the 16th to the 22nd of April 2018. This week I've actually chosen to work with the Magical Messages from the Fairies deck by Doreen Virtue, and wonderful realm to work with the fairies. They often get overlooked because we've got all these other realms. We've got angels, guides, higher self, archangels, ascendant masters, and sometimes we can overlook or not know about, or know that we can also work with the fairies. Now the fairies are actually the nature spirits, so their job or their task is to look after the earth and the environment, the flowers and the trees and the air, and all the things with the environment. Now there are other nature spirits like the gnomes, the pixies, the salamanders that have their own tasks. The fairies are wonderful nature spirits that you can also work with. They can be a little bit cheeky or mischievous or silly or funny, so you often will take a little bit of getting used to working with them if you haven't. With the other realms like the guides and higher self, they'll be there when you ask them to. They're always aligned with you. The fairies will come if you ask them, but you do have to get a little bit used to it, because sometimes they won't come if they're not feeling it, they won't come. So, but once you kind of get used to working with them, you will find them easy, fun to work with. So if you haven't watched my videos before, then welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy the weekly videos. And now that we've found each other, you can keep watching. And if you have watched, then welcome back. I hope you've enjoyed the processes that we've been doing. I often go back and watch them myself and use the healing process for myself as well, because what I do for each of my videos is I receive guidance on what I'm actually to do the video about. I receive a vision or a knowingness, or just kind of like a knowingness, and I start filming, and then it all comes together, and I often follow it up with a card. So what they've told me for this week is work with the magical messages from the fairies cards, and also do a healing where we invoke the fairies. So what we're actually going to work on is the change of seasons. So what they've actually shown me, that when you're going from one season to the next, if it's summer to winter or winter to summer, I guess you could do it with the autumn and the fall and the spring as well, but it's mainly from sort of the change from winter to summer, or summer to winter, whichever one you're experiencing, whichever part of the world you're in. So for instance, if you're going from the winter to summer, then you'll be wearing less clothes, you'll be feeling more like going outdoors. It's a little bit more open, I guess, and there's an energy associated with the warmth of summer. If you're like us in Australia, we're going from summer into the winter, so we're putting on more clothes, we're spending more time inwards, we're feeling a little different, our energy kind of goes inwards, and with that there's also a personal shift, or it allows us to work on a different aspect of ourselves associated with the change. So there can be a little bit of a personal adjustment that needs to happen with the change of seasons as well, and it also opens up the opportunity to work on different things, as I said, for yourself. For example, the summer, you're sort of a little bit more outgoing, you're a little bit more meeting people, socializing, that sort of thing. I'm speaking generally, and the winter you're kind of perhaps a little bit more inward, and I don't know, just a reflection of that does help you on a personal level as well. So with this change of consciousness, we're really sort of getting, and the rapid change of energy is that it's getting more precise. So these kind of change of seasons can bring out the best or the worst in us. So I know some people, not everybody loves the winter and not everybody likes the summer. You may be a summer or a winter person, which is another thing that this can be a reflection of. But basically what we're going to do is ask the fairies to help us adjust to the change of season. So it won't matter if you're going from winter or summer to winter. you can still use this process with the fairies. You can ask the fairies to help you with anything. It doesn't have to be just the change of seasons. You can call on them to help you find things, to beautify your garden. You can actually help them to help your house look a little bit cleaner if you want to do that. If you haven't got time to clean it, I've often asked the fairies to come in and make the house look cleaner, and they somehow do it. I think they change the energy so it looks cleaner. And so wonderful realm to work with. What they said for this week, if you can possibly go outside and do this technique, if weather's still okay, you will benefit more from doing this healing technique outdoors. If you can't, it's okay. I'm indoors because it's already night time here and it's getting a little bit cold outside at the moment. But what they actually suggested us to do was to make a circle using either crystals, stones, or flowers or something, and you make a circle, and the idea was that you were to sit inside the circle. If you're indoors, you can still place crystals in a circle, or little items that make a circle, and you're to sit in the center of the circle. So the reason for this is that's the kind of how the fairies work. They like a little bit of physical objects so they can work with that with you. So then the process was to sit inside. If you haven't got any items, just visualize a golden light around you, and that will be your circle. But they did say, if possible, to go outside and make a circle and sit inside it, and we're going to ask the fairies to come in. So the way we do that, once you've made your circle, you might want to go and do that now, or you can come back and watch the whole thing and then decide if you want to go outside and do this. We're going to ask the fairies to come inside the circle. So set up your circle, sit inside your circle. If you can't, just visualize it. Outdoors if you can, but indoors is okay. And then I ask the fairies to come inside the circle. And that's the first process. So set up your circle, ask the fairies to come inside the circle. I now ask my higher self to align me with the fairies. The second and third step's kind of the same. Number one, make your circle, sit inside the circle. Second is to ask the fairies to come inside the circle. Third step, higher self and guides, if you like, please align me with the fairies. Now, you might kind of get a little bit tingly and giggly and think it's a little bit silly, but that's actually kind of that's the energy of the fairies anyway. So just rest there for a moment and just see what happens. Now, when the next step will be, now, if you don't know if they've come or not, if you don't know if they're there or not, don't worry. Just do the best you can. Use your own intuitive knowingness. You may want to repeat it later down the track a couple of days and try it again. And you'll actually get tingles in your hands, or you'll feel an energy. Sometimes you feel a breeze going past. You might see flashes of light. They're all indications that you've invoked the fairies. It's my free will and choice now to ask my higher self to align me with the fairies. And then the next step is, I ask the fairies to help me to adjust to the change of seasons. I now ask the fairies to help me, please, to adjust to the change of seasons. As I said, the fairies, you can use them for anything. You can work with the fairies. You can ask them to make your garden pretty, or a lot of things. If you ask them to find things. But for today, the thing that I need to share with you is to ask to adjust to the change of seasons. There may be a bit of an emotional shift coming up for a lot of us, and this is to help prepare us for that. I also got the feeling there was another level to this, so we're going to actually ask the Archangel Raphael also to come in and help us to adjust to the change of seasons, or just to be with us and help us with this process. I now, in addition, call on the Archangel Raphael for you to help you to just align with the Archangel Raphael for any additional healing that is needed. It is my free will and choice to accept healing from the Archangel Raphael. That's just in addition as well. I'm feeling there's like a little bit of destiny calling or something, so there's a timing thing involved with this as well. So you may be destined to do something big this winter, or maybe destined to do something big this summer, and that's part of the alignment as well. So it's actually becomes more of a timing thing, that there's something coming up important that you need to get ready for. That's kind of like a destiny timing thing. So that's there as well, and the fairies can help you align with that. In addition, the Archangel Raphael is going to send a little bit of healing. Let's just check if we need to do anything else. We've made our circle. We've sat inside the circle. We've asked the fairies to join us in the circle. We then ask the higher self and guides, please align us with the fairies. And when the fairies are there, fairies, please help us adjust to the change of seasons. It's my free will and choice to allow the fairies to adjust me to the change of seasons. I also ask the Archangel Raphael for any additional healing. I'm going to pick a card now. Just leave that one there. We may get a little bit more information before we finish. If not, that was the healing that we needed to do. So I'm picking a card from the magical messages from the fairies. That's quite exciting, that one, isn't it? I wonder what's going to happen. If you watch my weekly readings, you'll know that for each of my card readings, I do place the cards to my heart chakra, and I bring down a white light through the top chakras, out through the heart chakra. And this light, this energy, this technique is to help you bond with the cards and helps you get guidance and intuitive messages kind of beyond physical cards. They become like vibrational energies rather than physical cards. Just ask the angels, guides, higher self and fairies that we choose a card that is for the highest good for everybody watching. So I say those processes, it's kind of like I'm saying them for myself, but it's for you to repeat or you to just acknowledge while I'm saying that I'm talking about when I'm bringing the fairies in. As I say, it will be done for you, or you may wish to have repeated those things that I say if you go and do it again, because it sounds like I'm saying it for myself, but I'm actually saying it on your behalf. Holiday, isn't that wonderful? So that's always good, isn't it? If you go away on a holiday and you're experiencing the opposite seasons, then you can, like if you're in winter and you go away on a holiday and you experience summer, then you'll be experiencing the opposite season. And it's not going to throw it out. It's all part of it. You can then ask the angels to help you or the fairies to adjust you to the weather that you're going to experience on the holiday. I often ask angels, please adjust me to wherever I'm going, the destination while I'm on the plane or before I go. I ask the angels to adjust me to the weather, the environment, the destination that I'm going, especially if you're going for traveling from a cold climate to a warm climate. You can actually ask the angels to help you prepare and adjust to that. But this time I was asked to, you might want to even sit in your fairy circle and ask the fairies to adjust you to your holiday destination if it's a change of seasons that you're going to experience, or even if it's not. Sometimes just the different energies of different places can impact on you when you have things like jet lag, or even if it's not that far, you can still need help to adjust to the different environments, different energies, different people and different weather. We could also use the fairies to help us with that. So in addition to asking for the change of seasons, we could actually ask the fairies to help us to adjust to any changes of environments in the destination that we're going to our holiday. For our holidays, that's if we're going for a holiday coming up too. So that's interesting. We could use the fairy circle for that as well. So that's wonderful. So I think some of us need a break too. If you're finding all this very stressful, because we've got normal life, but actually we've got the added pressure of the shift of consciousness. So you can't kind of stay the same anymore. The universe is asking for us to follow our highest joy, follow what we're meant to do, follow our destiny. But because we kind of get caught up in, everyday life, and we're kind of, I feel like we need to do a little bit of an adjustment just to help us through this extra pressure that the universe is putting on us. It's really for our benefit, because they want us to get the most out of our life. They want us to follow our highest joy and excitement. But if you're doing the same old thing, you're doing the same old job, you're with the same old people, you're in the same old town, which could be fine if that's your destiny. You don't have to change anything. Some people are fine where they are, and that's their calling, to just maintain where they are. But some of us have to kind of look a little bit deeper and follow that deeper calling, that we're being called to do something, called to change, called to follow our destiny, our true self. So I don't know where this is coming from. I'm just getting a little bit of extra information apart from our fairy realm thing. I'm actually going to invoke the Commander Ashtar. Now, Commander Ashtar is one of the big Ascendant Masters that can help us adjust to this change of consciousness and get you to where you need to be. I now invoke the Commander Ashtar just to help you and also prepare you for this adjustment to season. Sorry, I didn't think he was going to help us with that. Also help you to prepare you for the change of seasons. I now invoke the Commander Ashtar. You might want to Google him to find out a little bit more. Big player in this shift of consciousness. Very, very helpful. I now ask the Commander Ashtar to come in for everybody to help shift them to where they need to be. Also, he's going to help a little bit with the adjustment to the change of seasons. I'm feeling too, because everything's on a different frequency. So at the start of the year, we might have been on that level, and the end of the year, we're going to be up a little bit higher, and we need to make that leap. And then next year, we're going to go up higher. Now, they're only subtle changes. They're not really that dramatic, but you can kind of feel quite pressured if you haven't made the vibrational change. So if you're not keeping up, it can kind of make you feel a little bit pressured. Please, Commander Ashtar, take off any, help us to align. That's going to be better than take off any blocks. Help us to align with where we need to call, where we're being called. Help us to align to where we're being called. Help us to align to our chosen destiny. It's our free will and choice now to ask the Commander Ashtar to free us from any binding contracts, things that aren't working for us, and we release everything that's not for our highest good. Thank you, Commander Ashtar. I just got to tell you one more thing. When I firstly found out about Commander Ashtar, I was actually asking the universe for how can I ask for extra protection. I felt like I needed extra protection. And I came across the Commander Ashtar, and it talked about how to invoke the Commander Ashtar for protection. Now, after kind of working with and getting to know the Commander Ashtar, I actually got shown that it's very important to ask for this particular way to protect yourself. And I may have mentioned in this other videos, it's actually called the Secure Light Protection. So I'd just invite you over the next week, or even longer than that, it's something you can use all the time. I asked the Commander Ashtar for the Secure Light Protection, and I was told that it comes in at a soul level. So I'd invite you just to work with that and try that for yourself, because that's going to help keep you into alignment where you need to be. It's my free will and choice now to ask the Commander Ashtar to come through to align with me, and I ask him to bring in the Secure Light Protection at a soul level. It's going to protect you and align you. I now ask the Commander Ashtar to align me with the Secure Light Protection at a soul level. Now that's going to help you just shift you into where you need to be. You may not notice or do anything different, but by invoking Commander Ashtar, it's going to help you out and encourage you to go and make the transition a little bit smoother. So it's got to do with the seasons, and with the Commander Ashtar, it's kind of pointing you in the direction where you need to go. So it's lifting off any blocks and restrictions. I now ask for the Commander Ashtar to align with me. It's my free will and choice to invoke the Secure Light Protection of Commander Ashtar at a soul level, or just ask the Commander Ashtar. I ask for the Secure Light Protection at a soul level. I feel like the soul level is important with the Secure Light Protection. I also use Archangel Michael for protection, but I just felt like I needed to add into that. There seems to be a little bit of a pressure building with people, because it's the universe is going, go where you're meant to be, go with where you're calling, and sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we don't know where to go. Sometimes we just think, well, I can't leave where I am. There's all these different things, and we begin to feel a little bit stuck. Some people are fine where they're meant to be. Some of us have to sort things out and need to follow our calling. The Secure Light Protection will help with that. Let's see if we're done with the fairies. We're done with Commander Ashtar. Thank you, fairies. You can leave your circle outside if you like. It can become your little fairy circle, and you just sit there anytime you like and ask to work with the fairies for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be change of seasons, but if you need help, go and sit in your fairy circle in a couple of weeks and see what happens. But we've built our fairy circle, we've asked the fairies to help, we've aligned with Commander Ashtar. Our work is done for this week. What an exciting week. I wasn't expecting that additional information with Commander Ashtar. It is something that I've worked with many times before, the secure light protection. I'm sure I've mentioned it in other videos. They're just coming in as an added reminder for us to take a little bit of the pressure off for this week. I'm done now. I think we're fine. Thank you, fairies. Thank you, Commander Ashtar. The fairies will go back. You know, they might even stay in your circle, or they might go back to their fairy home, wherever that may be. And we'll look forward to seeing you in next week's video. If you'd like a private session, I will leave my webpage. You can book through that, or you can send me an email. Please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this reading. I'd also really appreciate if you subscribe to my video channel. Just click the subscribe button so you'll receive my videos first. I do also upload them on a format called Vimeo, but the YouTube is my main channel. I'm going to leave you here now. Lovely to spend this time with you. I've enjoyed this week's reading. I feel very clear now myself, so I guess I've needed some of that myself. Do comment below if you have enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you could also write them there in the comments section. But that's all for now. We look forward to next week's reading. Lots of love, and bye for now.